are statistics and what is it about this class? Well, the first thing about this class is some people have a lot of fear when it comes to statistics. Well, let me see if I can mitigate that fear with some ideas. Number one, we are not going to be breaking down formulas. We will look at them and try to understand them, but you will not be doing the math that goes along with the square root of the left side of the world versus whatever. You're going to be using a program called SPSS. I've used this program since my master's, and I thoroughly enjoy it because it is like any other app that you have. This program is huge and can do a lot of things. But what it does is it takes the formula creation and making mistakes on that to make that disappear. You're going to take existing data that's already prepared, place it into SPSS, and learn how to run that portion of it. Your biggest part of this class is in the analysis of that data, which is the most important part for your career. It's also the most important part for your dissertation project. We cannot cover everything in 16 weeks. We can cover what I believe that you need to understand to walk into your dissertation project, and if you have to run statistics, be able to run the basic inferential statistics. The advanced statistics should be helped by your professor, or you could reach out to me if you need to take it to the next level. Bottom line is, in church the other day, yesterday, we were looking in Matthew in one of the last chapters of last verses in 7, and he was talking about having a good foundation. This is the foundation. If you've had multiple classes in statistics, a lot of this will be extremely easy. If you've never done statistics before, then this is going to be a little more challenging. But understand that as long as you can order the program, get it on your computer, take the data and put it in there and follow the directions, you're going to be just fine. How this class is set up is the first 8 weeks. You're learning the key concepts that are going to be used probably extensively after your midterm. So what does that mean? You're going to be learning all the central tendencies, the mean, the mode, the median, how to do graphs, how to do this, how to do that. And then all of a sudden you're going to take all that and put it into SPSS, the data into SPSS starting on week 9, and you are going to break it down. You're going to run that test, be able to understand it. Your textbook is extremely solid. How the assignments work after the midterm are as follows. Let's take your week 9, which is descriptives. You have 2 assignments. The first assignment, and it's probably not the greatest analogy of descriptives, but in most of them, your first assignment is doing the assignment that is in the book. The one that comes with all the pretty little pictures for SPSS. You follow the directions there. You get to the end result. There'll be a video that goes along with that one. So that one is like practice. So it's not like you just have an assignment and you got to kind of whittle it through. You've got the book and you'll have a video. You're going to then take that same exact method and turn it around and do it in your second assignment. This one is on your own. You download the data, you run it the same exact way, you get the outcomes, and then we work from a template. So you have to use a template to get your grade. So here's the process. You do all the data, then you're going to do some critical thinking on what you need to put in there, and then you're going to write your paper. Each week the paper is actually the same every week, except for the first 2. There's no discussion. But as long as you follow the directions and do the portions that you're asked to do, just as the video and just as the book tells you to do, you're going to be just fine. But this week 9 and on, now you get to edit. So as long as you follow the editing rules that are in the expectation area, then you can turn it in early in the week and get editing back so you learn exactly how to do it. So imagine this, you get into your dissertation project, and all of a sudden you get your data from your participants and you start running that data. When you run that data, you have something to fall back on. You and your professor will decide what it is, and you should keep this book. Make sure you mark up this book, because once you learn these individuals, then you'll be able to turn back, and you'll be able to go to a much higher level in the advanced if necessary, because you have the foundation of inferential and descriptive statistics. So what are stats? Stats are basically the option to run data to make decisions. Example, Starbucks. Roll up Starbucks, you got the little screen up above the drive-through, and it says, how long did it take you to get the material, the product out the window, and that every time that hit that box, it starts and it goes. Well, imagine this. Back in the day, I worked at Taco Bell. I used to know exactly how many tacos they sold every day. This all gets compiled, and they look at each store individually, and then they look at each region, and then they look at nationally. So let's say the number's 2 minutes is supposed to go out, and there are a whole bunch of stores working at let's say 1:30. What are they doing? So I can make that decision to try and implement that company-wide. So you're making decisions. You're also drawing conclusions. Some of these will be direct, only in the idea of direct conclusions. You do not have enough time to run a whole bunch of tests in one and then come up with a grand conclusion. That is something you will learn. I will have a video on that later on in the semester about how this all comes together. Some of the stuff you're just not going to understand when you're done. That just doesn't make any sense. I got it right, but it doesn't make any sense, because it is the beginning of the flower opening. You need a whole bunch of petals to make a flower. This is just one petal that you're working on. You might do 2 petals, but most of the time in this class, you're going to do 1 petal. When you do your project now, you're going to have a whole bunch of petals put together, and then it turns into a beautiful rose, and that's when you come to your grand conclusion and the direction of your project. And that's the whole thing, is to be able to analyze the data, not just be able to be able to understand. You should kind of understand the formulas, but the real thing is the computer does that for you. It's the idea that you're going to put the information in, you're going to be able to understand what all the numbers mean that are necessary to write on, and then write on those and draw conclusions from that. We're not making any decisions in this class, but when you do your dissertation project, you will. Again, we're working cooperatively together on this, where you have to ask questions on things that you don't know. And if you can't do that and you just want to go on your own, you make sure that you're within the editing rules, and it will get edited. I will tell you one thing about the editing rules, that if you didn't follow the directions at all, then you're not getting it's going to get sent back and say, do it by the directions. You'll get marked down if you don't do it by the directions. I'm giving you the steps. You have to submit and do the steps that I'm asking you to do, and you will fly through this class with colors, and you'll understand a lot more than you did about stats and the necessity of what you need for your project throughout this class. Have a great day.